Who doesn't like Toblerone chocolate? Folks, this is Fernando doing our video for the Modern Survivalist, and today we're going to be seeing the difference between the Brexit Toblerone and the EU Toblerone bar. Outside the box, they both look pretty much the same thing. Alright, same overall dimension of the box, and this is kind of the trick that's going on. If you actually, this is a bar that I bought here in Spain. Spain is part of the European Union, and this is a bar that you find in any grocery store, any big chain supermarket sort of thing. So you open it up, it's beautiful, right? You have that aluminum foil thing, and as you open it, the familiar chocolate, it even smells good. And this is what it looks like in US as well. Pretty much it's the same thing. Alright, now if you go on and buy it in UK right now, you buy the same box. Okay, that's a good start. You have the same box, you open it up, and oh my god, what? It's almost empty. You see what's happening? You see the difference here? Yeah, I don't know, is it subtle enough? I'm missing one triangle of chocolate. That's basically it. You see this? Okay. Now, I was reading on the news when this first came out with the Brexit Toblerone chocolate, and in the BBC, it was even advertised as, now it's easier to break than before. Which I guess is true because you have less of it. So, of course, you can get your whole finger in there, or your thumb, and break it easily. Now, the thing is, of course, what's going on here is that you have less of it. Because of Brexit, the pound dropped. In case you're not very much familiar with everything that's going on, UK is still very much part of the European Union, but they have their own currency. Most of the EU uses the euro as their currency, and UK had a very good thing going on because even though they were part of the European Union, they had the pound. They managed to bargain that in the agreement when they joined, they managed to bargain that they would keep their own currency, and that's a huge key advantage. I mean, it's something that very few other countries managed to maintain, being part of the common market, being part of the European Union, but keeping their own currency. That was a huge thing. Now the thing is that now that they've said that they're going to be leaving the European Union, and this is going to be happening in actually a couple of months now, as soon as that happens, of course, their currency, the British pound, started losing value. It started depreciating, and the reason for that is pretty much obvious. I mean, you were once part of a major market, of the largest market in the planet, and the financial capital of it. Once you leave it, you are no longer part of that common market, and you're especially not the financial capital of it, because you actually left it. You cannot sustain that status of capital of the European Union when you're no longer part of it. Of course, the market reflects that, and I have done videos about Brexit before and such, with what I think about it, but cold hard facts, and it's expressed very well here with chocolate. Numbers are showing something, it's trending down. So what happened is this, and it's actually very easy to predict. What happened was that as the pound dropped in value, prices started going up. Good old inflation. And when that happens, products become more expensive. Now, the British government clearly has lots of leverage with the companies that sell their products in their country. So what they said was, we do not allow you to do this any smaller. You're going to be having a huge problem with us if you raise the price of the Toblerone bar, or if you make it smaller, right? So what happens is this good old a thing called shrinkflation, something I'm very familiar with from Argentina. As inflation started ripping through the economy, you start to see products getting smaller, little by little smaller, or something like this, less of it in the box. This is a little bit funny because it's so obvious and clear what's happening. And if you actually look at the weight, this is a box that contains 150 grams of chocolate. Well, the normal one, the standard one, has 200 grams of chocolate. So they took away 25% of the product. 25% is pretty much what the pound has devaluated. So they translated it directly to the price, keeping the same old box and doing this ridiculous thing. You know, what is it? What's the advantage instead of raising the price? A lot of people were saying on the streets they should have raised the price. Well, if they raise the price, they accept inflation. With this, they can do what the BBC was saying of, now it's easier to break. Now it's it's fat free, or it has less fat than the other one. Of course, it has less product. It's more of a fitness Toblerone bar, if you want. And if you keep taking away more chocolate, you will have even less of this stuff. So, all those little tricks that I'm familiar with because I've seen them. And that the thing is that it reflects the cold, hard, harsh in many ways reality of things, of what's happening. You can debate lots of things. What you cannot debate is 25% less stuff. Yeah, it's just Toblerone, right? But the thing is, this is just a little sign, and I've talked about this before many times in my website and in my blog and such, and books, regarding this would be one of those warning signs that you have to keep in mind, because this is just one thing, but then you're going to be seeing less of lots of other things as well. You're going to be seeing less of your of the services that you have for the money that you're paying. Transportation is going to be less of as well, being of poorer general quality. Less trains moving around, the condition of them worsening. Medical care is going to be less of as well. And I know for a fact this is happening already in UK. You just have to read what people are saying. Just listen to people, and they are saying that there's just less of everything. Less of medical health care. In the case of the NHS, means little by little there was this woman talking about being pregnant, and she actually moved over there recently, and she's actually moving back. She was saying that being pregnant, she went to get a check to see if her baby was okay, and they told her that they don't do any any scans or anything until the baby is 3 months old, until 3 months into the pregnancy. And she said, this is insane. I come from another European country where this is just absolutely insane. It makes no sense. That's not healthy for the mother or the baby. You have to check if the baby is fine. And what they told her was, you know what, if the baby is not fine, you're going to be losing it anyway. And if it is fine, then it makes no difference. 3 months from now, we'll still do the scan and see how the baby is. That's the kind of nonsense that people little by little will have to deal with. They're already talking about in Scotland about raising or charging for the university, which used to be government funded, in some cases completely. Nothing is really free, but people had this idea that in Scotland, if you did your part, you could go and have free university education. Lots of people react like that, have a knee-jerk reaction of, hey, how that's possible? You should be paying. Well, you're paying through it in other ways, of course, but now what they're doing is charging you even more for it. Okay, less of, again. Folks, that's just going to be it. Just a little, I thought it was very curious. I found this in a store that sells British food to locals here, to expats, immigrants from over there. And I was surprised when I opened it and found that it's actually, a Brexit Toblerone bar. Just missing 25% of it. Folks, if you want to learn more about survival in terms of practical approach, especially economic collapse, that sort of thing, my first book, The Modern Survival Manual, Surviving the Economic Collapse, available in Amazon. Link is going to be there below. little things like this start happening, you have to be very this is funny, right? I at least thought it was, kind of novelty sort of thing. You have to be careful when they start taking away quality here. You guys, my friends in Britain listening and asking for advice, here's my advice. Start reading this as well. Toblerone is a serious company. Chances are they're not going to be messing with you in terms of worst product, but many other companies will start reducing the quality of what they're selling as well. Maybe they're not going to be shrinkflating, they're going to be taking away the quality. It's going to be worse stuff, a cheaper product, so as to keep the prices into what they're expecting. Now, you cannot argue with 25% devaluation of a currency. That was, in fact, the worst performing currency in the entire planet for 2016. Even worse, yes, than the Argentine peso. That says a lot of how things are going. And you just have to be careful and, understand your environment, know what's going on around you, prepare as best as you can. So that's what this channel is all about. That's what my books are for as well. Stay tuned, keep up with the channel. See you on our next video. Have a great day and an even better new year.